Hello, my name is Elite MKB, and last time no one was able to defeat my challenge, with Ice Spiteful getting the furthest, crashing out on the vehicle ramps. Now, the course has evolved, and 50 competitors are here to take on Season 2 of the Elite Challenge. Competitors will emerge from the fire under the watchful gaze of the elites at the start line, heading straight into the new aesthetically pleasing cannon jumps, a real fan favourite for the competitors in practice. 5 cannons making the jumps between the barrels, avoiding touching the base or the wheels, and heading down through the 5th cannon, picking up a grapple onto the skyline path. A tricky walkway suspended below a ceiling. The grapple can be used as an assistance on this obstacle. Then onto a returning from Tournament 1. This is the paper air raid. The paper plane shaped blocks. Make the transfer between those and heading onto the rolling log. Jump onto the barrel and roll the barrel down the track. Obviously not touching the track in the process. Then it's back again. It is Crash Mountain, reforged to be smoother and an extra ball added in for more difficulty. Competitors will surely be tested by this obstacle. Head up the path, avoiding the balls, making the jump to the dismount pillars, and then onto the path towards the slip and slide. Pretty much identical from the last tournament, except with a opposite side approach. Make the landing there and up onto the triple fire escape. The 3 fire escape ladders in a different configuration from Tournament 1 should provide competitors with a suitable challenge. And then the last real banana peel, it is the diamonds in the sky. Make it across the 4 diamonds and onto the walkway through the defensive line. Navigate the fence panels and hit the golden buzzer in the time limit of 130 seconds. And you'll be heading on to Stage 2. Now let's see who's up for the challenge first. And the first competitor at the start line is a returning competitor from Tournament 1. This is Snos, and he is, by his own estimations, underwhelmed by his Tournament 1 performance, looking to do better. 130 seconds on the clock as Snos heads into the cannon jumps, making it through the first 2 to the 3rd cannon, then the big jump to the 4th, and Snos makes it to the 5th, heading down the barrel now onto the platform. Gonna grab a grapple and then head up to the skyline path. Gonna grapple off of the green ceiling, and he's gonna slip straight through a slot, and Snos is out. That is the first competitor already knocked down by the course. Up next is newcomer Lewis85801, and he's going to head off for his 130 seconds, and he's going to go straight in off the first jump. Luis out in record time. Up next is J-Stud Roblox, another new competitor. Established already in the Halo jumping universe, so we will look for a good performance from J-Stud as he heads off 130 seconds into the cannons. First jump successfully landed. Makes a transfer to the second, but he's going to fall off short, and J-Stud out as well. Next up, competitor number 4. This is Mickey Cop 8. He's a big fan of Halo jumping, has built replicas of many courses. Will that skills be able to stand him in good stead as he heads off through the cannon jumps? Already making it to the 3rd and making good progress. Mickey Cop to the 4th, Mickey Cop to the 5th. Makes it through now onto the skyline path. Gonna grab the grappling hook and head up onto the walkway. And he's gonna make it down, doing the little skips over the gaps in the pathway. And Mickey Cop now onto the paper air raid, making his way through the paper planes. Each jump being deliberate, planning his route. And Mickey Cop makes the landing, and now onto the rolling log, the first competitor to attempt this. And he's punched it, and the log's rolled away from him, and Mickey Cop is down and out on the rolling log. Up next, competitor number 5. This is Halo Fan 176461, a returning competitor from last time. How will Halo Fan do with the tournament of experience under his belt? 130 seconds on the clock, and away goes Halo Fan, making the first jump with ease. And through to the 2nd, to the 3rd cannon, 4th cannon and to the 5th, and Halofan beats the cannon jumps. Now grabbing that grappling hook, heading up onto the skyline path. Needs to be careful not to fall in the slots, but Halofan making good progress with the little hops. And jumps deep into the paper air raid, cutting out about a third of the entire obstacle. Good strategy from Halofan as he's going to make it through onto the rolling log. Gonna start shooting it to start the log rolling. And Halofan skips along the top, and Halofan beats the rolling log and is the first competitor onto the new Crash Mountain. And Halofan instantly eating the balls. But he's making progress. Oh, and he's not. He's got knocked off right at the end. Halofan is out. Up next is competitor number 6, and he's making his return from R Factor 2. This is Creepy Tomcat, one of a number of R Factor 2 sim racers who made their debut in Halo Jumping back in Tournament 1. And Creepy Tomcat is underway into the cannon jumps. Part of a group of sim racers who care less about beating the course and more about getting further than each other. And Creepy Tomcat is going to be setting the benchmark for them this tournament. He's in cannon number 2, and he's going to run out cannon number 2, and Creepy Tomcat down and out. And looking to best his compatriot. Up next, this is competitor number 7, Brad Sellers. He's going to head into the cannon jumps, 130 seconds on the clock. And Brad Sellers moving quicker than Creepy Tomcat, making it through the 2nd cannon, making the jump to the 3rd, and Brad Sellers beats his rival, but doesn't get much further. Brad Sellers is out on the very next jump. Their next challenger is going to be competitor number 8. This is Makofoven from France. And he's going to head off 130 seconds for the Frenchman. Looking to best his 2 R Factor 2 compatriots. Making his way through the cannon jumps at a bit of a slower pace, a bit more methodical. Lining it up, and Makofoven, he's going to slip out as well. And Makofoven also out on the first obstacle. Now, how will the Tarmac Griffin 42 get on? He's attacking the course with, and I quote, all of his experience. Unfortunately, that is not much, but we will see how Exuberance gets on against Experience. As Tarmac Griffin, he's going to make the jump, and he's going to best his 3 compatriots. And Tarmac Griffin going to be the first of the R Factor 2 bunch to defeat the cannon jumps this tournament. And he's going to jump big into the skyline path, using the grapple to basically skip the entire obstacle. That's pretty smart, but he's going to miss the next jump on the paper air raid, and Tarmac Griffin crashes out. Up next, the 5th and final R Factor 2 sim racer. This is Shaxbird. He got further than everybody else in the last tournament. Can he do the same again? 130 seconds on the clock, and into the cannon jumps goes the German. Almost comes up short on the 2nd one, but barely makes it. Big jump to the 3rd. Shaxbird, very deliberate progress, but not the fastest in Tournament 1. Looking to go for the same approach once again, and makes it through the cannon jumps. Now Shaxbird grabbing the grappling hook, lining up a shot onto the skyline path, and Shaxbird makes it to the walkway. Not going for the big skip like Tarmac Griffin. He's going to follow the path to its completion, going left and right, not risking jumps over the gaps. It's definitely not a fast technique, but he's making steady progress. Now Shaxbird lining up the jump, and he lands it onto the paper air raid. Shaxbird beat this obstacle in the previous tournament, and he's making progress along it once again. And Shaxbird's going to line it up, and he's going to walk back off. Shaxbird is out. That is 10 competitors down, and now we have a newcomer. This is Junsato Cyan, an experienced Halo jumper in his own right. Let's see how he gets on. 130 seconds and into the cannon jumps for Junsato Cyan. Having to do a few saves there on the 2nd jump. That's not a good sign. Now Junsato lining it up, makes the jump to the 3rd cannon. Now picking up some speed through to the 4th. Quick turnaround going for the 5th and final jump, and sure enough Junsato Cyan beats the cannon jumps. Now onto the skyline path, going for a big grapple, and Junsato Cyan makes it up to the pathway. He's going to do the little skips, and Junsato making progress, now lining up for the paper air raid. There is an overhang on the skyline path, and he's going to hit his head on it, and Junsato is out. Next up, competitor number 12. This is Spartan Walnut with the Mohawk. Will the Mohawk power him to success? Time to find out. 130 seconds and Spartan Walnut is unleashed onto the course. Through the first 2 cannons with ease. Makes the jumps to the 3rd. Big hop to the 4th, and Spartan Walnut has made that jump and he beats the obstacle. Next up to the skyline path. Grabbing that grappling hook and heading up top. Another competitor choosing to walk along the red path, taking those little skips. Keeps the momentum up and straight onto the paper air raid. As Walnut makes the jumps between the paper planes. Making good progress, making quick progress as well, just about the quickest we've seen all day. Now onto the rolling log, hopping on top of the barrel and rolling it down the slope. Spartan Walnut, everything's looking controlled. But not much you can do to control Crash Mountain. He's waiting for a gap in the traffic, and Walnut goes for it. And he dodges around those second 2 balls. Walnut's got a strategy, using the very edge. It's high risk, high reward, and unfortunately he's been clipped, and Walnut is down and out on Crash Mountain. So far nobody's beaten Crash Mountain today. Will August Halo be the first? Competitor number 13 is ready and raring to go. Unlucky for some this number, but will it be for August Halo? 130 seconds and off into the cannon jumps. Making the transfer between the 1st and 2nd. 2nd to the 3rd with ease. Now picking up the speed from the 3rd to the 4th, and August Halo is going to make the final jump and land it. Another competitor beats the cannon jumps, now onto the skyline path. Getting up with the grappling hook. Skipping the gaps, and now onto the paper air raid. Making a jump from plane to plane. August Halo making progress, changing routes to a higher dismount. And August Halo makes it through the paper air raid, and now onto the rolling log. Another competitor onto the log today already. Looking to try and start it rolling. Having a bit of trouble getting the barrel moving though is August Halo, and August Halo rolls off the side and is out. And next up on the course, competitor number 14 is Malpace Lagat. Very commonly a voice of wisdom to the Halo jumping community. Less so an actual competitor, so I'm very proud that he has turned up for the Elite Challenge and making quick progress through the cannon jumps. Clearing them in just about 15 seconds, so a good run from Gary. Now heading up onto the skyline path, using the little skips across the gaps and making it onto the paper air raid. And now making good progress down the paper planes. Gary looking solid and in control and moving at just about the fastest pace we've seen all day. Going to be beating the paper air raid in just a hair over 40 seconds, and now onto the rolling log, a formidable challenge for anybody. Gary looking to get it rolling, and he goes for a big hop early, and he's going to touch the track, and he's going to be out, but he's going to get flung up in the air anyway by the rolling log in a show of disappointment. As Gary heading up onto Crash Mountain, unfortunately out of the tournament. Up next, competitor number 15, this is Hi, I'm Galactic, newcomer to Season 2. And he's going to head off for 130 seconds into the cannon jumps for Galactic. Making progress into the 2nd cannon. Big jump to the 3rd, only just about making it on landing. And going for the 4th cannon, and Galactic bounces out. And we're down another competitor. Next up, number 16. This is Avows the Samurai. And if name value is to be considered at all, then Avows has a good chance at making it far. But we shall see. 130 seconds on the clock, and Avows the Samurai is on the course into the cannon jumps. Avows making good progress already. 2nd cannon, jump to the 3rd. Lining up the 4th, this is the big one, and Avows the Samurai just about makes it, saves it on the rim. But Avows beats the cannon jumps, now heading onto the skyline path, grabbing the grapple hook. And up onto the pathway, making the skips once again, doing that left-hand side sprint. That seems to be the common technique, but Avows hopping through the paper air raid. through the paper planes, and Avow's going a lot quicker than most competitors we've seen today. Now onto the rolling log, getting it rolling with no fuss, all under control, and Avow's makes the dismount, and now onto Crash Mountain. Avow's wasn't in Tournament 1, so this will be the first time he's seeing the obstacle, and he's choosing just to bulldoze his way up the track using brute force as opposed to skill or agility, and brute force sometimes works. And Avow's lining up the drop onto the dismount pillars. First pillar, second pillar, and Avow's the Samurai becomes the first person to beat Crash Mountain today. It only took 16 people. Now onto the slip and slide. Sliding along, making the drop, clutching the ledge, and Avow's the Samurai makes the landing. Now onto the triple fire escape. This tripped up many people in the previous tournament, but Avow's skipping through it. Although coming up a little bit short on the final jump of the first ladder. Making it onto the second. Avow's going up sideways to try and minimize profile. Making very good progress, still with 30 seconds to go as Avow's heads to the top of the second ladder and makes the transfer to the third. 25 seconds, looking good for Avow's. On the third and final ladder, but comes up short on the last ledge. Avow's is going to have to hustle now onto the diamonds in the sky. And Avow's overjumps the first one, sliding off. Avow's is out as the buzzer signs for the first time today. But Avow's so close yet so far. Next up is Mighty Max, who's cooking in the entranceway. Will he be cooking up a good performance? Let's find out. 130 seconds on the clock, and Mighty Max is on the course now. Yes, there he goes. There goes Mighty Max, leaving us all in suspense. Making through the cannon jumps to the second, through to the third, lining up the big fourth jump. Mighty Max saves it, and he successfully saves it. Good job there, Mighty Max. And beats the cannon jumps. Now onto the skyline path, grabbing that grappling hook, and Mighty Max going to swing underneath. Using one grapple, using two. So Mighty Max, another competitor, using the grappling hook to its fullest potential. Now onto the paper air raid. Making the hops, going towards the left-hand side. Mighty Max has come down quite low. Can he make the dismount from here? No, he can't. He's hit the platform and bounced off. Mighty Max is out. Up next, getting a bit beaten up at the start, is Wild Sasuke 67. Let's hope the support from his friends will lead him to victory. There's Spartan Walnut as well chipping in. He's already been eliminated, sticking around to support the other competitors. Good show of sportsmanship there, but Wild Sasuke is off for 130 seconds into the cannon jumps. Lands the first one, lines it up, goes for the big jump for the second. And the third, Wild Sasuke has a strategy. Fourth jump. No, Wild Sasuke slipped off and Wild Sasuke out, and another competitor falls foul of that fourth cannon. Will the next competitor have better luck? This is Bray Wyatt 21. Competitor number 19, and underway into the cannon jumps goes Bray Wyatt. Makes the second jump with ease. Bray Wyatt looks like he's got the strategy down for this obstacle, and sure enough makes that tricky fourth jump. And now down the fifth cannon, grabbing the grappling hook, and Bray Wyatt heading up onto the skyline path. Said in practice that this was quite a difficult stage, so was just hoping to do well, and sure enough beats the skyline path. Now onto the paper air raid, and making quick progress down the center, getting up to a higher dismount platform, and Bray Wyatt beats the obstacle. Looks to be about 90 seconds or more on the clock is a good time till this point. And Bray Wyatt now onto the rolling log. He's skipping, he's jumping, and he's gone off the front, and Bray Wyatt down and out. He looks like he's been consumed by the course. That's a weird one. Next up, with antlers and all, here comes K-Fly. Competitor number 20 is on the course. And K-Fly wasting little time attacking these cannon jumps. And K-Fly's going to come up short on the fourth jump as well, and we have another competitor falling foul to that cannon. K-Fly there sliding off the edge as well, just to add insult to injury. But up next, this is Atlantic Champ, a competitor very disappointed in his Tournament 1 performance, and Chumpy looking to improve upon that. trying to psych the clock out just as much as anybody else, but 130 seconds are off and Atlantic Champ is onto the cannon jumps. Atlantic Champ, a far better jumper than the performance he put in Tournament 1, so look for him to go very deep in this stage. And Atlantic Champ beats the cannon jumps, now onto the skyline path, grabbing the grapple, and Atlantic going underneath. No, he's going round the side and lands on the path. That's another different technique shown by Atlantic Champ. And now making their way through the paper air raid with a high dismount platform and 5 seconds ahead of the average time up until this point. Atlantic is rocking and rolling, and down goes the rolling log. Next up, Crash Mountain, and this is a challenge for everybody who gets to it, and Atlantic hurdles the first 4 balls, stopping the rest of them in their tracks and just trying to brute force his way through. And Atlantic making progress. Steady progress, gets a ball to the head, but he's going to make the dismount onto the dismount pillars, and Atlantic Champ beats Crash Mountain. Next up is the slip and slide, and with a minute left on the clock, Atlantic making good time. Big high arc, clips the ledge on the way down, makes the jump, and now Atlantic onto the triple fire escape. This is where it went wrong for so many people in the last tournament, but Atlantic making good progress. Not failed the jump yet, 40 seconds still on the clock. He's a good 10 seconds ahead of where Avows was at this point. And Atlantic makes it through to the third of the ladders. 30 seconds ticking by, Atlantic's running out of time, but he looks in good shape. Up next is the Diamonds in the Sky, makes the jump to the first. And he underjumps the second. Atlantic Champ is down, and Atlantic Champ is out. Up next is Disappoint 2919, competitor number 22, lined up and ready to go. His 130 seconds starts now as Disappoint heads into the course. Returning from Tournament 1 and making progress through the cannon jumps into the third, into the fourth. Has to need the save jump, but Disappoint makes it through the cannons as we follow him down now, grabbing that grappling hook. Disappoint lining up a shot to get to the skyline path, makes it up to the red pathway, making those skips down the left hand side, and Disappoint lands on the paper air raid, making good progress through the paper planes. Another competitor beating the obstacle with around about 90 seconds left on the time limit. So Disappoint making good progress. Now onto the rolling log. Careful not to roll off the front, but Disappoint with an early dismount, but makes the landing. Now onto Crash Mountain. Disappoint running straight into danger, but he's fighting back. Disappoint punching the balls to a stop and then jumping over them. Trying to completely hurdle that one. Got clipped by it, and now Disappoint, they're starting to gang up on him. But Disappoint standing his ground, pushing back, and Disappoint makes it over 4 balls at once, and he's going to jump for the landing, and Disappoint makes the landing pillars. Another competitor beating Crash Mountain, and now Disappoint heading towards the slip and slide. Goes for the arc, lands it. No, he doesn't. He shoots straight down the middle of the ledges, and Disappoint out on the slip and slide. Next up from the Halo Racing Legends grid, this is Armada 223. The previous year's Hogtona winner, and how will Hogtona skills transfer into the Elite Challenge? They don't really have too much transferable on stage 1, but if Armada gets to stage 2 with the vehicles, he should feel right at home, but he's not going to get that far, and Armada crashes out on the cannon jumps. Competitor 24, another member of the HRL grid, this is Soul Reaper 1025. But he's much more familiar with Halo jumping than Armada. How will Soul fare in his second attempt at the Elite Challenge? 130 seconds on the clock, and Soul making his way through the cannon jumps. Through the third, through the fourth, Soul makes the landing. And down the fifth cannon, onto the skyline path. Now making his way down the red pathway, using the little hops. That's what the low ceiling's for, to make those difficult. But no bother for Soul as he heads through the paper air raid. Another competitor, 95 seconds left on the clock at this point for Soul, really moving fast, and he's risking it by punching the rolling log. The log does like to fight back, but Soul gets away with it. Heading on to Crash Mountain, gets absolutely walloped by the first ball and gets pushed back by the second straight off the edge. Soul Reaper down and Soul Reaper is out. Next up, the 25th competitor, marking the last of the first half. This is Spenny37. And Spenny had a tough time on Crash Mountain last time. How will he fare this time around? His 130 seconds are well underway as he heads through the cannon jumps, and Spenny almost comes up short on that fourth cannon but manages to save it. Beats the obstacle nonetheless, now picking up the grappling hook and looking to get up to the skyline path, goes up through the slot that Snos fell in. That's a flex there from Spenny, making his way down the path and onto the paper planes. Good progress by Spenny, going just as fast as Soul, if not a little bit quicker. Now onto the rolling log. Spenny gets it rolling, very controlled. Lands it now onto Crash Mountain, waiting for a gap in the balls. This is what beat him last time. And Spenny's managed to get lucky with a big gap of the balls, but now they're coming at him like an avalanche. Spenny just having to dig in and hope for the best, but he lands on the ball and rolls off the side. Spenny is out. Next up, competitor number 26. This is Kimchi Yaru, a veteran of both DRL and Halo tracks. And Kimchi making his way into the cannons, and Kimchi making his way out of the cannons. Kimchi Yaru is out. Next up, another DRLer. This is Nike, the mid-packer, making their second attempt on the Elite Challenge. And they've done better than Kimchi, but not by much. Nike runs off the fourth cannon, so we have another competitor falling foul. Next up is Squeezoo, a third member of the DRL and Halo Tracks communities, making his first foray into the Halo jumping scene. And he's made it through the third cannon, already done better than Kimchi and Nike. And Squeezoo beats the cannon jumps. Now grabbing a grappling hook and heading up towards the skyline path. Going along and hopping across the edge, but switching to going back and forth. And Squeezoo makes it to the end. Now looking at which is the best place to dismount from. Squeezoo trying to line up the overhead, seeing how late he's got to jump. Doing his calculations. Here goes Squeezoo, late jump, and he makes it to the paper air raid. And Squeezoo jumps from plane to plane, making progress. About halfway through the obstacle, and that's Kimchi Yaru from earlier. He's seen the rolling logs been pushed down, and Kimchi moving ahead to reset it for his fellow competitor. Good sportsmanship there from Kimchi. Squeezoo gives him a punch or two for good measure. But Squeezoo now onto the rolling log himself, trying to figure out how to get it rolling. 60 seconds left on the clock, just under. More like 50 seconds now, but Squeezoo making progress. He might be tough on time, but he's making his way through the obstacles. Squeezoo now onto Crash Mountain, with little to no fear in his actions, and Squeezoo just hurdling the balls. Making good progress, getting over 3 at once there, and another 2. Squeezoo's not even been touched. Makes it all the way through Crash Mountain, and onto the dismount pillars. Squeezoo is on a roll here in his first Halo jumping experience. Now onto the slip and slide. Can he beat this obstacle as well? No, he's gone down the middle. He didn't quite manage to get the jump. You can definitely see he got in contact with the ledge though. So a great run from Squeezoo. Will that be a sign of things to come? Here comes competitor 29, Eternal Flame at 395. Competitor who did well, I believe, got defeated by the slip and slide in the first tournament. But Eternal, 130 seconds on the clock, into the cannon jumps. Through the third, through the fourth. Makes the jump to the fifth, and Eternal having no problems at all with the cannon jumps. Grabbing the grappling hook and heading up towards the skyline path. Eternal making quick work of this as well with the little hops. Late jump onto the paper air raid, and Eternal not stopping for anything, making very, very quick progress. And just under 100 seconds left on landing and straight into the rolling log. Eternal beats that obstacle as well. Now onto Crash Mountain. Hurdles the first ball, hurdles the second. starts punching away at the third and starts to line the balls up for an easier jump over, and Eternal makes it through. Makes the dismount on the second pillar, and Eternal beats Crash Mountain as well. Still 70 seconds on the clock. That is huge from Eternal Flame so far. Makes it through the slip and slide, gets the jump and the landing. Now onto the triple fire escape. Even skips the first ledge of the first ladder. Eternal going ham on this course. Beats the first ladder, halfway up the second already. No dramas at all so far. Eternal makes it all the way to the top and makes the swap to the third ladder. Eternal is flying as things stand. Oh, but that's the first sign of a slip up. Having to do one of the jumps twice, but Eternal now onto the diamonds in the sky. This obstacle can't really be rushed as evidenced by the competitors earlier, but Eternal making good progress and beats the obstacle. Now onto the defensive line, zigzagging through the panels, and he's gonna make it to the buzzer. And Eternal Flame, 22.5 seconds. A new Stage 1 clear record, and the first competitor today to make it to Stage 2. Congratulations to Eternal Flame. And Stage 1 of Tournament 2 has just been bested. And in style as well, as Eternal celebrating the victory over the course. And we'll be heading on to Stage 2. Now, will anyone else manage to join them? And if anyone can, why not this next person? Now, competitor number 30. This is Demigods. He's receiving encouragement there from Fireball. Demi looking to make a good showing here. Fireball shows him the way. 130 seconds, and Demigods is going to be into the cannon jumps. Demi on the course. First cannon. Second. Nearly slipping around on the second cannon though. That's not a great start from Demi, but he's going to compose himself into the third. Clears the fourth lip with ease. And now Demi goes for the fifth and completes the cannon jumps. Heads down towards the grappling hook. Demi going to fire away up onto the skyline path. And Demi going to take the long way round, going for safety over speed. Through the zigzags, and now looking to get the jump off onto the paper air raid, and Demi hits his head. We've seen that happen to Jun Sato earlier, and Demi goes the same way. Up next, competitor 31. This is Shadowrun 132. Back for a second appearance on the Elite Challenge. How will Shadowrun do? 130 seconds, and Shadowrun is off into the cannon jumps. First cannon, second, third, moving very quickly. This is promising from Shadowrun, but he's going to slide off. No, he's going to save it. Good awareness there from Shadowrun to recover that. Now heading down towards the zip line and wasting no time getting up onto the skyline path. Throwing some crouches in there to give himself a bit more headroom leeway. Makes it through onto the paper air raid, making quick work of the paper planes. Heading down that right hand side, making the obstacle clear, and Shadowrun shoots the rolling log off ahead of him. Shadowrun not wasting time, now onto Crash Mountain. Dodges that first ball. Dodging around the next couple. Shadowrun ducking left and right and getting hit by the balls. Shadowrun getting pushed back right at the end, but no matter. Shadowrun makes the obstacle, beats it, now up onto the slip and slide. Just under 70 seconds left on the clock. Shadowrun slips, Shadowrun slides, and Shadowrun slips through the gap and is out. Next up is Gunner 338, heading into the cannon jumps with gusto. Gunner makes the second, makes the transfer to the third, makes it to the fourth, and Gunner looks to complete the obstacle. No, he comes up short on that fifth jump, and Gunner is out. That's a real shame, but back to the start line. This is the Spartan Sasuke host, RPG 445, looking to get revenge after the course defeated him in Tournament 1, and Rog has 130 seconds to make it to the end of the stage and hit the golden buzzer. Will he be able to make it? Let's find out as Rog underway into the cannon jumps. Timer is ticking away. Second cannon for Rog into the third. Looking to make the big jump to the fourth, and Rog clears it. Now the 5th cannon. And picks up the grappling hook. Rog up to the skyline path. Sprinting down it. Little hops from Rog, but keeping the momentum onto the paper air raid. Deliberate progress from Rog, always moving forwards. And Rog beats the paper air raid now onto the rolling log. Gets it moving, keeping it under control on the downhill. Rog makes the dismount and now onto Crash Mountain, where he was defeated previously. Rog smacking the balls away with the sword, making good progress using brute force. And Rog's got that one ball as a blocker and he's keeping on pushing it, and Rog pushes it off the end and walks off after it, and Rog is out. Up next, competitor 34, El Booker Taco, looking back into the flames, looking for an answer of how to defeat the Elite Challenge. Booker shot at the course mascots previously, and once again Booker showing them what he thinks of the course. And the course bit back last time for Booker. Will he be more successful this time? Into the cannon jumps goes Booker. Nearly comes up short on the 3rd one there, but Booker makes the jumps nice and neat and beats the obstacle. Grabs the grappling hook and up now towards the skyline path. Booker making progress. Looks to be sailing over those gaps with the greatest of ease. Booker now onto the paper air raid. Bouncing through the paper planes with speed. Booker 96 seconds on touchdown. Now onto the rolling log. Gets it moving. Here comes Booker down the slope. Makes the dismount and now onto Crash Mountain. The balls all gathering at the top, and Booker getting psyched out by a few of them but stops them moving. That's a good strategy. We've seen it work, but he's getting pushed back. Booker now trying to jump off of one, lands on another, and he gets rolled off the side. Booker out on Crash Mountain. And chalk up another victim to the Crash Mountain. Will the next competitor have any better luck? This is Tricky Cyrus. The first ever British Halo Jumping Grand Champion is off. 130 seconds for Tricky Cyrus into the cannon jumps. Making good progress. Makes that tricky 4th jump, makes the 5th, and Tricky Cyrus beats the first obstacle and avoids, in his words, a catastrophe. Now up onto the skyline path. Going down the right hand side, bit different from everybody else, but Cyrus makes the obstacle, makes the jump onto the paper air raid, and making good progress through the paper planes. Comes up down low. We know from Mighty Max earlier you can't make it from there, so he has to readjust, go up higher. Will that time loss cost him, as Tricky Cyrus now onto the rolling log. Takes it all the way down, and Cyrus now into Crash Mountain. Using the right hand side, high risk, high reward. Means he's going to avoid the worst of the bulls, but one touch and he's gone. And Cyrus, you can't touch him. Onto the dismount pillars, and Tricky Cyrus beats Crash Mountain. Still over a minute to go as we head onto the slip and slide. Goes for the high arc, looks to catch a save jump off the ledge, and Cyrus beats that obstacle as well. Now we're onto the triple fire escape. 52 seconds still on the clock. Cyrus looking good, but he slips down. Cyrus struggling a lot actually on this first ladder. Slipped down already 2 or 3 times. Cyrus, the ledges do get thinner at points, and Tricky Cyrus really had the brakes put on his run. Only 30 seconds left now. Cyrus onto the second set of ladders, and once again the thinner ledges causing Tricky Cyrus a lot of grief, and Cyrus slips down yet again. 20 seconds left. This could all be Tricky Cyrus being undone by the course. He beats the second ladder in its entirety with the buzzer sounding. Tricky Cyrus, there's no chance he's going to make it. And he slips down once again. Tricky Cyrus, he's going to run out of time on the triple fire escape. He was looking so good into the foot of the obstacle and then just was tied in knots. Tricky Cyrus beaten by the clock just as much as the course. And then he fails the diamonds in the sky just to add insult to injury. Up next is one of the final newcomers in this tournament. This is Petrillo Fan 4. a very highly rated Halo jumper. Let's see how he gets on the Elite Challenge Tournament 2 as Petrillo onto the course. 130 seconds into the cannon jumps. Makes light work of the first couple of jumps. Not rushing it. Almost comes up short on the fourth, but makes the landing. Beats the obstacle. Now gets the grapple and up towards the skyline path. Petrillo lining it up for a second. But he makes it, no sweat. Sprinting down the left-hand side with the little hops. And Petrillo makes the dismount onto the paper air raid. Making fast progress through this obstacle. Very fast indeed. And Petrillo beats the paper air raid. Now onto the rolling log. Gets it moving. And Petrillo makes it onto the dismount. Up next is Crash Mountain. Wouldn't have seen this in Tournament 1, so this will be a new obstacle for him. Heading straight for it. Punching his way up the ramp. The balls there starting to gang up on him at the top. And Petrillo not making too much progress, but he's got 3 of them stuck there. The cameraman's forgot to turn off his notifications. He should be fired, but Petrillo really struggling at the end here. And just like Rog, he's pushed the ball off the edge and followed it and missed the dismount pillar. Petrillo is out. Now up next, the host of Ninja Warrior of Halo, the very first competitor last tournament. This is Hunter Unit 751, and he's going to be looking for a big performance today. Didn't beat the stage in Tournament 1. How will he fare? And Hunter Unit off onto the course. 130 seconds for one of the longest serving Halo jumping hosts. And Hunter Unit making his way through the cannon jumps. And he's going to come up short on the 4th jump. Hunter out already on the first obstacle. That's a turn up for the books. And after Hunter, we have number 38, the best player coach in Halo jumping, and the winner of the Fail of the Tournament award for Tournament 1. This is Free MMO Direct. And just in that time I've been introducing him, he's already defeated the first obstacle. Free moving very quickly, just as he was last tournament before he got undone on the triple fire escape. So we should expect a bare minimum for Free of getting that far, because he wants to take revenge on it. And Free already beats the paper air raid. Now onto the rolling log with just under 100 seconds. He's absolutely flown through the first 4 obstacles. Free now onto Crash Mountain. This has been causing people a lot of trouble, but Free hurdling the balls, jumping off the top of them as they roll down towards him. And Free MMO Direct absolutely destroys Crash Mountain. 80 seconds still left on the clock as he heads onto the slip and slide. Looking to go up for that high arc, makes the drop, catches a save jump. Free MMO Direct beats the slip and slide. Now we're onto the triple fire escape. This is where he got lost last tournament and made a wrong jump. Can he remember which direction to jump off the ladders? Free making strong progress through the 2nd ladder. Jumps to the 3rd, and he makes the landing. That was where it went wrong last tournament. And Free starting to slip up on the 3rd ladder. Again, the narrow ledges, the same that caused Cyrus so much problems. But Free MMO Direct beats the obstacle. 40 seconds left. Onto the diamonds in the sky. First diamond, 2nd, save jumps, 3rd, 4th. And he makes it. Now all that's left is the defensive line, and Free MMO Direct is going to be heading to stage 2 on a 25.9 second clear. Free MMO Direct, 2nd clear this tournament, beats the previously set speed record by Eternal Flame in the process. And Free MMO Direct avenges his defeat from Tournament 1 and will move on to stage 2. Now, can anyone else get through? There's 12 more competitors to go. Let's see if any of them have the mustard. Now we're up to the final newcomer of the tournament. This is Paddy Freakin', and he's another favourite to do well. Let's see how Paddy gets on. 130 seconds into the cannon jumps. First cannon, 2nd, no problem at all. 3rd cannon, nice and neat. Saves on the 4th, and Paddy Freakin' beats the first obstacle. Grabs the grappling hook, heads up towards the skyline path. Paddy Freakin' moving very quickly through the skyline path, and he's going to hit his head, and Paddy falls, and Paddy is out. Wow, only 11 competitors left. Next up is Gaming Brando. He had a 9th place finish in Tournament 1 and was very pleased with that. Can he go better in Tournament 2? We shall find out momentarily, but Gaming Brando off onto the course. 130 seconds in progress, and Gaming Brando, if he wants another top 10 result, he'll have to get very deep into stage 1. But of course he's looking to go further than just deep into stage 1. Heads up now onto the skyline path. Heading down the right hand side, crouch walking for the extra headroom. Brando not necessarily going super fast, but we've seen that the time limit can have a lot of wiggle room. Brando now onto the paper air raid, making good progress down the right hand side. And Brando makes it onto the landing platform. Next up is the rolling log. Gets it moving quickly. Gaming Brando makes the descent and now onto the landing platform before the crash mountain. Brando heads into it with gusto. He's being hit by the balls, but he's getting enough height to jump over the follow-up. Now Brando starting to punch the balls. And Brando, he's going to slide off the side, but no, he's going to save it. Quality recovery there from Gaming Brando. And he's going to force his way through the obstacle. Brando makes it to the dismount platforms, and Gaming Brando is another competitor through Crash Mountain. Of course, he beat the obstacle last time. Likewise, the slip and slide. Brando going for the high arc, goes for that far platform, gets the save jump, and Brando beats the slip and slide once again. The triple fire escape was where it all came undone for him last time though. Will he be able to take revenge? Brando flies up the first ladder, makes the transfer to the second. Clock ticks under 25 seconds to go. Brando could be pushed for time here, but he's going to make it to the top of the second ladder. Switching to the third. Brando climbing his way towards beating this obstacle. And Gaming Brando beats the obstacle, but the timer is running out. The buzzer starting first, Diamond second, third, and he shoots over the third one, and Gaming Brando down and out again. Just like in Tournament 1, failing right at the klaxon. Now up next is another competitor who had some time limit problems in Tournament 1. This is Crown Ferret 19, the host of Irish Warrior. He actually timed out a few seconds from the finish in Tournament 1, looking to do better this time around after having not been defeated by any of the obstacles. 130 seconds for Crown Ferret, and he makes his way through the cannon jumps, fourth cannon into the fifth, and Irish makes short work of the first obstacle, and grabbing himself a grappling hook and heading up towards the skyline path. But he slipped out. Irish manages to recover it, grabbing another grapple in the process. And the second time of asking, Irish makes it up onto the skyline path. Sprinting down the side, makes the jumps. Big dismount onto the paper air raid. And Irish jumps through the paper planes. Making easy work of it, making deliberate progress. Not the fastest through up until this point, but certainly looking secure in everything he's done. Shoots the rolling log off ahead of him and makes the jump to it. Now on to Crash Mountain. Irish punching his way through the balls. First ball, second. Starts punching the third up the slope. Goes to try and jump over it, and Irish runs off the side. Irish is down and out. And now we only have 8 competitors left. 9 competitors left, my mistake. Competitor 42, also timing out last tournament, was the worker of Meme. Now can Meme once again beat the course, and more importantly, will he do it within the time limit? Meme was even closer than Irish last time, and he makes the cannon jumps look easy. Less than 15 seconds taken to beat the first obstacle as the worker of Meme heads up to the skyline path. Going for the quick hops, and now Meme onto the paper air raid, making good progress through the paper planes. Going down the right hand side, makes the jump towards the middle, and Meme beats the obstacle. 95 seconds still on the clock, so he's looking good for time. Starts the rolling log down its descent and makes the dismount. The worker of Meme now onto Crash Mountain. The balls are going to come at him thick and fast. And Meme handling them so far. He's starting to get pushed back. They're stacking up on top of each other. Meme is moonwalking along the top, and just like Brando has to save it right on the edge of the platform. Meme running up the track, makes it up to the top. Is he going to make the dismount? Yes, he does, and the worker of Meme beats Crash Mountain once again. Now onto the slip and slide, running up the path. Goes for the big slip, goes for the slide, and the worker of Meme makes the dismount. Now onto the triple fire escape. 50 seconds left on the clock. Meme saving it in the middle, not slipping back down. Just trying to make steady forward progress. And Meme now onto the second ladder. There's the thin ledge. Meme beats that as well. Up the second ladder, looking to make the transfer to the third. Makes it comfortably, and the worker of Meme now on the third ladder. Passes the narrow ledge, makes it all the way up to the top. 20 seconds left on the timer. Meme's going to have to hustle through the diamonds in the sky. First diamond, second, third, has to save it. Fourth diamond, 10 seconds to go, and the klaxon sounds in the defensive line. The worker of Meme looking to make his revenge on stage 1, and sure enough he does. 3.8 seconds left on the clock is the slowest clear time today, but that doesn't matter because the worker of Meme is heading to stage 2 for his first time. Up next we have Drago is Sick, one of the all-time legends of Halo jumping. Going by his new name, Drago is back, and Drago back onto the course, and Drago back off the course. Drago out on the second jump. That is a real big turn up for the books as Drago is out. Up next is competitor number 44. This is Super Ninja Jake 2. Now how will Super Ninja Jake go? Late in the run order, psyching himself up, getting support there. I believe that's Junsato Cyan watching from above. But Super Ninja Jake heading into the cannon jumps and making quick work of the obstacle. Very quick work, in fact. Super Ninja Jake just about record pace through the cannon jumps, and he's going to go underneath. Big grapple, just like Atlantic Champs, slings it round the side, makes the landing up top. And now onto the paper air raid, making the paper planes. Super Ninja Jake down the center, makes the landing. Now onto the rolling log, moving very quickly indeed, just about at 3 MMO's pace at this point. Takes a little bit longer getting the rolling log moving, but Super Ninja Jake gets it rolling, makes the dismount and beats the obstacle. Now onto Crash Mountain, gets a big hit up from the first ball, starts punching away at the second. They're stacking up against him, but Super Ninja Jake moving forward. He's punching away. They're 4 or 5 stacked up against him now, and he goes over the top of them all. Super Ninja Jake takes one to the head, but he's going to make the dismount. And he's going to land it just about, but bounces off the dismount pole for a little bit of extra speed. And now on the run up towards the slip and slide, Super Ninja Jake goes high, makes the save jump and makes the landing. Now onto the triple fire escape. Another competitor running very deep. 50 seconds left on the clock for Super Ninja Jake as he makes it up through the first ladder, jumping across to the second. Third ledge, fourth. Then that thin fifth ledge. Caught out a few people, and Super Ninja Jake having to take 2 tries at it. 35 seconds or so on the clock left as he makes it to the third ledge. Meme had less time and he made it to the end, but Meme didn't slip up on the third ladder. Super Ninja Jake taking 2 stabs at it. Just over 20 seconds left now at the top. Now onto the diamonds in the sky. First diamond makes the landing, and he overjumps the second, and Super Ninja Jake is gonna fall down and out of the competition. Heartbreak there for Super Ninja Jake within sight of the finish. Up next, competitor 45. This is Gotenks, hyping himself up, ready to go for his second appearance on the Elite Challenge. 130 seconds for Gotenks as he heads into the cannon jumps. First jump, easy peasy. Second jump, no hardship at all for Gotenks. Someone of his skill level, you'd expect to be able to absolutely run this obstacle in his sleep. And sure enough, Gotenks beats the cannon jumps, grabbing himself a grapple hook, looking to get up to the skyline path. Another right-hand side user, but Gotenks makes all the way down to the end, jumping now onto the paper air raid, making his way down through the central line, and Gotenks makes the paper air raid. Now onto the rolling log. Jumps on top of it, starts it rolling. Gotank's looking to keep it all under control. Makes the dismount safely, and now Gotank's onto Crash Mountain. And off he goes. First ball hits him backwards though. Gotank's making progress now. They're all starting to line up against him. Gotank's trying to hurdle them, but he gets rolled off the side and Gotank's is out. Now 5 competitors remaining, and every single one of them has been to stage 2 in the previous tournament. First of those is competitor 46, Trials of JD, the host of Trials of Achilles. Beat stage 1 with the fastest time in the last tournament. Now how will he make it through this one, through the cannon jumps? Just over 10 seconds gone. Now onto the skyline path. And he's going down the left hand side with the little hops. And Trials of JD makes it into the paper air raid. Hopping between the paper planes with speed. 100 seconds left on the clock as he's going to shoot the rolling log off ahead of him and jump to it. Trials of JD very much going for speed at the moment onto Crash Mountain, wasting little time. Runs straight into the first balls, they just hit him up, not out. And Trials of JD going for the hurdling strategy. Stacks up 2 balls against him, but he's going to get hit by one that's just dropping in, and Trials of JD rejected and bounced off the side of Crash Mountain. Up next, jumping out from behind the fiery house, this is Flamosaurus, the Spartan Ninja Warrior host. Another competitor who beat stage 1 in the last tournament with the second fastest time. Lining himself up, 130 seconds are off as Flamosaurus into the cannon jumps. Second jump, third, makes it to the fourth, and the fifth, and once again the cameraman forgot to turn his notifications off. Really should get better staff here on the Elite Challenge. But Flame up with the grapple onto the skyline path, making his way down. Now onto the paper air raid. Going for the hops down across towards the right hand side, back to the middle, and Flamosaurus 95 seconds on the clock, and once again the logs rolled away. Flame having to reset it, but hopefully it won't affect him too much. And Flame beats the obstacle, now onto Crash Mountain. Gets hit by the very first ball, and Flame gets bounced straight off and straight into the water. Up next we have Fireball, and he's cooking up a performance in the fire. At least that's what I think he's doing. And Fireball now lining up for his 130 seconds, and Fireball off onto the course. Makes it into the first cannon nice and easy. Second, third, makes the jump to the fourth, and Fireball beats the cannon jumps. Grabbing that grappling hook, heading up towards the skyline path. Fireball makes it up. Goes for these short little hops, and Fireball makes it onto the paper air raid. Going straight for it. 100 seconds just ticked by, and Fireball beats the obstacle. Now onto the rolling log. Starts it moving. Of course, Fireball has one of the most, if not the most, stage 1 clears in history of Halo jumping, so he is a firm favourite to beat this stage, but he's getting pushed back by Crash Mountain. Fireball lining the balls up and pushing them inch by inch, making slow and steady progress, jumping over the balls, doesn't push it off and follow it like a few other people have, and Fireball beats Crash Mountain. 65 seconds on the clock as he's now onto the slip and slide. Goes for the big high arch, makes the save jump and lands it on the platform, and Fireball onto the triple fire escape, and he's moving. Just under 50 seconds left now as Fireball makes it very quickly through the first ladder, onto the second, using the side of the ladder to get a slightly wider landing zone. Fireball making very quick work of the fire escapes onto the third one. Straight up and over the top, 30 seconds to go. Fireball now onto the diamonds in the sky. First, second, third, fourth. That's about the quickest we've seen anyone do it as he's ducking and weaving through the defensive line, and Fireball clears with 19.1 seconds on the clock. That is the 4th person through to stage 2, and with 2 competitors left, will they both be able to succeed? They both did in the last tournament, and the penultimate competitor out of the gate, this is Smoky Massacre, the Halo Ninja Warrior host, second place in Tournament 1, and he's off for his 130 seconds. Into the cannon jumps goes Smoky. Definitely a firm favourite to do well, makes it through the first obstacle with ease. Now onto the skyline path, and Smoky's going underneath. Smoky with the double grapple by the looks of it, and sure enough he does Tarzan swing underneath the entire obstacle. We've seen that before, but Smoky doing it very quickly. 102 seconds, he's the fastest person to this point so far. As we head down the rolling log, Smoky makes the dismount. Now onto Crash Mountain, and he gets hit straight by the balls. He's getting pushed back and back and back, and Smoky off the edge, and Smoky Massacre is out. That is a big shock. As we head now down to the start line for our 50th and final competitor, the godfather of Halo jumping. He's been doing it longer than just about anybody else. This is Double Ump, third place in Tournament 1, the host of Aborigines Warrior, as he heads off for his second attempt on the Elite Challenge, looking to go 2 for 2 on stage 1. Making quick work of the cannon jump so far, having to do a save on the fourth, but that won't bother him, and beats the cannon jumps. Now grabbing a grapple, looking to head up towards the skyline path. Making his way along the walkway at maximum haste. Now into the paper air raid, making good progress. Going back towards the center, and beats the obstacle. 93 seconds on the clock. Is a good pace so far. Now he sets the rolling log off and controls it on the descent. Now onto Crash Mountain, jumping straight at a ball and landing on top of it. With the finesse already. He's hurdling the balls, and now he starts punching them as he gets to the top, and they start to gang up on him, but making his way through. Takes a ball to the head but shrugs it off, and makes the dismount and beats Crash Mountain. Now onto the slip and slide. Heads up towards, goes for a low arc, makes the dismount platform, and now onto the triple fire escape, just like Fireball, just a hair over 50 seconds to go, but going to slip back down. He's going to control it though, gather it back up again. You don't get to be as experienced as Double without being able to shrug off a mistake or two. And now powering his way up the second ladder, makes it all the way to the top, now looking to transfer to the third. Makes the transfer. 30 seconds have just ticked by, and Double making progress up the third ladder, makes it to the landing platform. Now onto the diamonds. First diamond, second, third, fourth diamond, and makes it up onto the defensive line. He's bobbing and weaving, but he's made it through, and 10.9 seconds. Beats the klaxon, makes the golden buzzer, and becomes the 5th competitor through to stage 2 today. Way to go, And those 5 competitors are for MMO Direct with the fastest time of a 25.9 seconds. Competitor 29, Eternal Flame, in behind at 22.5, Fireball with 19.1, Double who's just made it through on 10.9, and the Worker of Meme with the 5th and slowest time of the stage 1, but he's going to be advancing to stage 2 just like everybody else. Now let's see what's in store for these competitors. They'll start in the Razorback, and the timer will begin when they hop into the driver's seat and they head down the Razorback grind. Makes the dismount off onto the platform, then making their way onto the Olympic rings, the 5 antenna satellite dishes. Make your way across that and hop into the Gun Goose. Use the Gun Goose to head along the rail of the Mongoose Cliffhanger. Make their way up the ramp and onto the turning point. Then up the little shunt onto the pallet jump with the pallets there to block people's view. Big jump to the landing platform on the Razorback. Hop off and up the ledge climb of Great Peril. Hopping between the hanging bars and head down the head slide of the Descent into Madness before jumping onto a goose one final time for a run across the Bromaniac experience. Slightly changed from the last tournament, made the full 20% bigger, but that means longer as well. Anyone who manages to make it to the other side will be greeted by the 4 familiar vehicle ramps. with a little trick at the end, a nice little short jump towards the landing platform. But if they can make that all in the time of 75 seconds and hit the buzzer, they'll be heading on to stage 3. Now let's see how our 5 remaining competitors fare. The first of the 5, number 29, Eternal Flame 395, the first one through today with the second fastest time. And Eternal getting hyped, jumping into the Razorback and off for 75 seconds down the Razorback grind, parking it on the end as seems to be the common strategy for that obstacle now. Heading now into the Olympic rings and just jumping straight over the first antenna, and Eternal Flame out already. That's a surprise. Next up is the fastest man through stage 1. This is the player coach for MMO Direct. He's well supported for his stage 2 attempt. Didn't make it this far in the last tournament, so it is all new ground for free. Hopping into the Razorback and underway for 75 seconds for MMO Direct on the course. Going full send and not wanting to waste any time at all as free onto the Olympic rings. First, second antenna, third antenna. Feels the need to save. Goes for the fourth and overjumps it, and for MMO Direct, that's another competitor out on the Olympic rings. Up next now we have the Worker of Meme as he helps on board, or on top of the Razorback, trying to hype himself up, ready for his first stage 2 attempt on the Elite Challenge. And Meme into the driver's seat, and Meme pulls away, not going particularly quickly. Stage 2 is really designed for speed, Meme, but he jumps out and nonetheless he beats the Razorback grind. Now will he pick the pace up onto the Olympic rings? He's going for the safety method, which is land closer to the satellite dishes where the antennas are a bit thicker, but of course it's going to cost you a lot of time. And Meme gets up to the fourth one and he makes the dismount onto the Mongoose cliffhanger, so Meme takes provisional first place, but he's not looking too hot for the clock. But Meme beats the Mongoose cliffhanger. Now makes the turns up onto the pallet jump. Only 25 seconds to go. Meme's really got to pick the pace up, but he makes it through the pallet jump. Dismounts and now onto the ledge climb of great peril. First ledge, second, third ledge, save jumps, fourth, fifth ledge as the klaxon starts to sound. Meme beats the obstacle and now the descent into madness. Meme beats that as well and hops onto the Mongoose, but he's going to run out of time before he's really even gotten into the Bromaniac experience. And the Worker of Meme, once again, just like in Tournament 1, is going to be defeated by the clock. However, this time he doesn't get to stand at the end of the stage. Now we have 2 competitors to go. They've both been here before. First up is Fireball, and he's not waiting around. That's the speed mindset you need for stage 2. And Fireball makes the Razorback grind, now heading towards the Olympic rings. First antenna, second, third, fourth. Skips the fifth entirely, now onto the Mongoose cliffhanger. Fireball making progress. Pretty dab hand on a Mongoose as Fireball beats the obstacle. Struggling a little bit maneuvering in towards the pallet jump, but you can see he's got about 15 seconds more than Meme did at this point. Fireball definitely moving quicker. Now onto the ledge climb of great peril. Skips the first set of ledges entirely. And Fireball making good progress. 30 seconds just ticked by. Down the descent into madness and now onto the final Mongoose. Heading into the Bromaniac experience. Fireball, familiar with this concept from DRL events, makes the transfer across to the far side, but he's going to slip and slide and Fireball's going to fall. Fireball is out. And we are now down to our last man standing. This is Ump Double Ump. Made it to the Descent into Madness last tournament. Can he do better? 75 seconds on the clock and Ump Double Ump psyched himself up, ready to go. And off he goes into the Razorback grind. Goes Ump Double Ump. Very quick through the first obstacle. Now on towards the Olympic rings. First antenna, saves it. Second, third, save again. Fourth antenna, and Ump skips the fifth once again. Another competitor skipping that fifth ledge onto the Mongoose cliffhanger. for double ump. Makes it up the angled ledge. Now looking to make short work of the transfer onto the pallet jump, and sure enough he does. 40 seconds just ticked by for double ump. Now onto the ledge, climb of great peril, skips the first ledge just like Fireball. Up onto the 5th, 6th, touches down and down the descent into madness, beats the head slide where he failed last time. Now double ump onto the Bromaniac experience. Looking to make the cross, slows it right down to make the cross. Easily 15 seconds on the clock. Ump's going to have to put pedal to the metal, but he's made it to the other side. Ump now onto the vehicle ramps as the klaxon sounds. First ramp and he bounces off the side. Double ump flips out and is eliminated. And that is the 50th and final competitor eliminated by the course. And you join me now on the vehicle ramps where double ump failed, but took first place in Tournament 2 of the Elite Challenge. No winners this time, but Tournament 3 is on the horizon. So if you think you have the skills necessary to defeat the Elite Challenge, let me know. And until then, goodbye.